Buenas a todos, bienvenidos al canal Gran Capi. Como podéis ver, seguimos en Siberia y tenemos como objetivo ajustar la radio y objetivo secundario hablar con tus aliados antes de usar la radio, ¿vale?
Leon's drawing book.
Bueno, esto ya lo hemos visto.
I recognize the mountains of Vagan in these drawings. Leon must have drawn them during his expeditions in the region. These drawings date from the summer we met, when I worked here. These landscapes don't look like they're from the Vagan region. Leon must have done these drawings when he was in Baltayar with the Origin expedition. This is a drawing of the Gorons. Herr Gustav housed me here when I worked at the refuge. I have so many fond memories with Leon here. When I left for London with Junta, I never thought I'd see the place again, let alone be here again with Leon. The Goron's lair. The Goron's lair. Judging by these installations, Leon's network seems particularly well organized. Pity the same can't be said for all the resistance networks. May I? Lenny and the Goron seem close. It's nice that she's found a friend. Not that Herr Gustav lacked affection for her, but she spent too much time alone in that refuge. True brothers and sisters in arms. You can sense that the three of them stand together as one. The Goron described Leon as his brother. They must have shared lots of adventures together since Leon saved him from the clutches of Herberger. Your drawings are beautiful.
For you, Rose.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Ludwig. It's almost as if you were there with us that night.
Leon told me.
Did he speak about me?
All the time.
I should go now. Talk to you later, Mr. Ludwig. Oh, it looks like Leon and me in this drawing. The Goron must have drawn it from Leon's accounts of us. If this propaganda against the resistance fighters is anything to go by, The brown shadow must be pretty desperate.
Otro sabotaje terrorista perpetrado por el ejército blanco.
Looks like the Goron must be a nightmare for the brown shadow. He must be the super resistant I heard so much about in London. Harold Exner. A scientist with vital information for the war effort, according to the Foreign Office. His cover has recently been blown, which has led to this operation. Better not say anything during the briefing, but apparently, Exner has a reputation for being rather hot-headed. The refuge. The place where it all began between me and Leon. An arms stash. Since the departure of Herr Gustav, resistance fighters have been using this place as an outpost. The Allies are unable to send enough supplies to the resistance fighters for them to completely let go of their good old-fashioned methods. An arms stash. Since the departure of Herr Gustav, resistance fighters have been using this place as an outpost.
Para, ya está.
Shouldn't think the Brown Shadow appreciate Leon and his group throwing their own grenades at them.
Bueno, ahí está la radio.
Maybe Herr Gustav's homemade radio is still around here somewhere. Lenny!
What do you want?
It's amazing how you've grown. How have you been since last time?
Fine, I guess.
I found out that the refuge was closed down by the Brown Shadow a few years ago. Turns out your network did the best of it. But what about Herr Gustav? Is he...
Dead? No, he's not dead. Although, for me, he might just as well be.
It's quite incredible when I think of you and Leon fighting alongside someone who comes from so far away.
Yeah. After Leon saved him during the expedition in Baltayar, Mr. Ludwig's tribe took him in during the winter months. They became inseparable, like brothers. So much so that Mr. Ludwig insisted on coming back here with Leon. Now he's our most ferocious fighter, the terror of the Brown Shadow.
See you later, Lenny. Best not go too far. There's a storm brewing. Darn it. I hope it doesn't break until we're through Devil's Pass in the morning. Is everything all right, Herr Exner? You seem a little upset. If it's about your exfiltration tomorrow, I can assure you there's nothing to be worried about. Leon is the best for...
I couldn't care less about tomorrow.
So what is it then?
It's my wife, Andrea. It's like I said to your goons there. I can't leave without her.
Your wife? I'm sorry, Herr Exnau, but we have no orders regarding...
I don't care about your orders. I'm not leaving without Andrea. Do you hear me? I won't. You think I'm a bastard, don't you? A selfish bastard ready to risk people's lives to recover the woman he loves. That's what you all think, isn't it?
No, I think you're afraid, that's all. Afraid for you and the woman you love. And fear doesn't usually bring out the best in people.
I take full responsibility for my actions, and I expect no pity in return. But would a little understanding be too much to ask? I mean, what would you do in my shoes? What would you do if they asked you to abandon that alpinist you seem to be so fond of for the common good, eh? Because that's what you're asking me to do with Andrea.
Well, to be perfectly honest, I suppose if I were in your shoes, I would pull out all the stops to protect those who are dear to me.
I see. Thank you, Fraulein.
Well, everyone seems all right.
Have you called London yet? We'll talk later, Dana. Have you called London yet?
I read Leon's network uses the old caves over there to escape from the Brown Shadow. That's smart. Sky's darkening. Doesn't bode well. Let's just hope it'll clear up by the morning. Devil's Pass. Once we've crossed it, getting into Switzerland shouldn't be a problem.
Vale, pues ya está. Bueno, vamos arriba a ver si hay piezas para la radio.
Yunta's stash. I doubt I'll find anything of use there to amplify the radio signal. What a mess. Herr Gustav must have turned Yunta's dark room into a storeroom after she left. So Yunta never did come back to retrieve it? Not surprising, really, I suppose, given the fact that World War broke out. Herr Gustav's old radio. I remember we spent many an evening listening to serials when I worked here that summer. This is the transmitter Herr Gustav told me he'd cobbled together to compensate for the wave disturbance caused by the mountains. Should be able to use it for my own radio to contact London. Once this antenna is connected, there must be a way to open it. Maybe Herr Gustav's homemade radio is still around here somewhere.
Bueno, voy a poner el cacharro este antena por
It
aquí.
doesn't fit. Looks like there's something wrong with the antenna. There must be something else I can plug into it. There must be something else I can plug into it. That should boost the signal. Perfect. That item doesn't work. Better try another one. This part of the radio is used to receive messages. This part of the radio is used to receive messages. I need my documents so I can find the right setting. They're in a side pocket of my bag. This part of the radio is used to transmit messages. Empty.
Para contactar con el oficial de enlace, siga el siguiente procedimiento. Para obtener la frecuencia de seguridad, descifre el código de contacto que encontrará codificado a continuación. Consulte el apéndice. Ajuste la frecuencia de seguridad facilitada en el receptor de su dispositivo. Tras eso, el oficial de enlace le hará llegar al receptor de su dispositivo una nueva frecuencia de transmisión que tendrá que descodificar. Ajuste esta nueva frecuencia de transmisión en el emisor del dispositivo. Use el teléfono de su dispositivo para contactar con su oficial de enlace. Bueno, estos son códigos. Vale, códigos. ¿Este qué código es? 2111. Este código yo creo que es el... Aquí alguno de estos. La B, ¿no? A ver. La B, ¿no? Raya, 3 guiones. Sí, eso, el 12. Es la... Vale. Y el 121. Creo que es este bar. Creo que es 16-9. Creo que es 6-9, a ver. Ahí. Y aquí digo yo que será igual, 6-9. Bueno, está encendido, ¿no? Encendido. Yo creo que está todo ya a tope, ¿no? Baterías son.
This part of the radio is used to transmit messages.
Pues ya no sé, macho. No, pero un poquito más bajo no se puede. Claro, este está en el 7, tío, es. Joder, yo quiero poner 6,9, a ver. Ahí será ese. Y este.
This part of the radio is used to transmit messages.
Yo creo que ya está. Venga, transmite.
The signal isn't strong enough. I need to find a way of amplifying it. The signal is strong enough to reach London now. Creo que dice la P y la E, o sea, es PIC. 8,4. Dale caña. London, come in. London? Do you read me? Over. We've made contact. Package safe and sound. I repeat, we've made contact. Package...
Out of the question!
I'm not moving from here without her!
London, please wait a moment. Over. What's going on?
You tell London I'm not leaving without my wife.
Herr X, now listen,
No, you listen. Andrea is my closest collaborator. With regard to the Allied war effort, she is just as important as me. She is in Wagen as I speak, hiding at some friend's place under a false identity. You must bring her here and smuggle her into Switzerland with me.
There's no way we're going back to Wagen. Brown Shadow troops have overrun the entire town. We can't risk delaying our departure.
A storm coming. Danger.
I'm not moving from here without her.
London, did you hear that? Roger that. Over and out. They say we can't allow Frau Exner to be captured and risk her letting the cat out of the bag.
What are you waiting for then? Send someone to fetch her.
Hang on. You're not asking me to.
Sorry, Lenny, we haven't got a choice. Ludwig can't go about in public in Wagen, and I have to prepare everything to get them through Devil's Pass tomorrow. You're the only one I trust enough to...
Why can't she go?
Vamos a ver.
I understand you're angry, Lenny, but that's not in my orders. My mission consists of protecting Herr Exner at all cost. I can't just leave him here and go off to Wagen.
Dana's right, Lenny. And besides, it's too dangerous.
Leon!
All right then. I'll go.
Lenny, wait!
Leon's reaction and his unconditional love for Dana drove me mad with rage. So I decided to take my revenge by making a detour. It was a detour I would regret for the rest of my life.
What did you do?
I made a deal with the devil. No one was supposed to have gotten hurt, I promise. I promise, Fräulein. I just didn't want Leon to leave me forever. To leave with her. But it was a fool's bargain, as I should have known from the beginning.
mountain becomes impassable!
Go through the pass in this weather. Are you mad?
We have no choice, Lenny! It's that or fall into the hands of the Brown Shadow! And we both know what that means! We ought to stay, to buy Leon as much time as we can!
Leon,
She's right, Lenny! Now go! Go! Come! Dana!
No! Don't make this harder than it is!
Dana!
I love you, Leon.
I love you too, Dana, more than anything in the world. Come on, let's go!
Ironic, isn't it? But the worst was yet to come. Who knows how long we fought? Enough for Leon to lead the civilians to the foot of Devil's Path. Ludwig has been searching for Leon's remains since then. But it took the thaw due to global warming to uncover the bodies. And with them, my crime. Precisely when you decided to show up, Fräulein.
Lenny.
Dear Ludwig, can you overlook?
Mr. Ludwig, please.
Don't, Fräulein. I deserve this. Let's get this over with, Fräulein. Let me tell you about the last time I ever saw Dana, and then I'll be done.
Okay, I'm listening.
It was a year after Leon died, just after the liberation of Wagen.
A ver, mi capitán, le escribo para informarle de un incidente problemático. ¿Se acuerda de la prisionera que nos entregaron los rojos antes de irse? Era una pelirroja bastante habladora, una artista. Se suponía que ayer tenía que comparecer ante el tribunal militar por todo el trabajo de propaganda que hizo para la sombra marrón. No obstante, cuando me preparaba para llevarla allí, recibí la llamada de un alto mando británico. Dijo que teníamos a la persona equivocada y me ordenó que la pusiera en libertad. Como tenía un rango muy superior al mío, me limité a obedecer, pero desde entonces me ha quedado un sabor amargo en la boca. Los rojos estaban totalmente convencidos de que ella era culpable, y como era de esperar, la mujer se esfumó en cuanto el oficial británico me convenció para liberarla. ¿Cree que procede informar de ello a la policía militar? Aguardo su sabio consejo al respecto de este asunto. Humilde sargento Scott Curtis.
The little Vagarian scourge. Still clinging on like fleas on a rat, I see. Oh, I was so disappointed I didn't bump into you when we sacked your parents' house. Before we threw them in the Dombra River.
I just wanted to tell you what a pathetic little man you are. You don't even deserve my hatred.
Run, rabbits! Run! 'Cause we'll soon be back to finish off scum like you!
Patriotas wageníes derrotan a la sombra marrón e izan la bandera de Osterland en la ciudad. Hoy los patriotas de Osterland se rebelaron contra sus conquistadores de la sombra marrón y liberaron Wagen de su capital. Cuando un ingente ejército de los aliados se congregó en las puertas de la ciudad, miles de partisanos asediados atacaron las barricadas de la sombra marrón, subyugaron a las guarniciones enemigas y alzaron la bandera de Osterland victoriosa dentro de la ciudad. Las últimas noticias en el cuartel fueron que las tropas aliadas se habían unido a los patriotas wageníes de la Plaza de la Música, el corazón de la capital, tras una ardua lucha contra la sombra marrón y los milicianos colaboracionistas de Wagen. En un discurso extraordinario, un comandante soviético se subió en el escenario entre los autómatas de la plaza y dijo: este gran día de liberación nos habría sido posible sin el esfuerzo de guerra continuado de muchos y especialmente el de una fábrica soviética, el de la ciudad industrial de bueno, esto está hablando de la fábrica. Esta fábrica, situada entre Ucrania y Kazajistán, ha sido capaz de mantener su actividad de extracción y refinado de metales pesados gracias a su mano de obra autómata. Es acertado concluir que el creador de esta fábrica de autómatas también creó la plaza de música en la que hoy nos encontramos como ciudadanos libres del mundo. Su nombre era Hans Vorarlberg, añadió el comandante. La radio de Wagen confirmó esta madrugada que la capital de Osterland había sido liberada y el comandante en jefe de la sombra marrón había firmado una rendición incondicional. Vale. Y aquí la cola.
Since the liberation, everyone in Wagen seems to be looking for someone.
Goodness me, it's you, Dana.
Herr Gustav?
Wish it was still a music academy, eh? Allied HQ now, you know.
Yes,
I just visited Lenny.
that's why I've come too. I wanted to see her before I leave. How is she?
Surviving, I suppose. The Allies are taking care of her here in the infirmary. Thank goodness. Special treatment for her exploits in the Resistance. But it's unlikely she'll ever walk again now.
I'm so sorry for what happened to her. I let Leon die alone, and I couldn't even help Lenny when she got hit during the assault on the refuge.
I understand you, my lovely. I do. But don't blame yourself, eh? Regrets, we all have a few. And some more than others. Especially in times of war, Dana. It's the way of the world. We just have to move on best we can. Maybe if we could all just let the water flow under the bridge, the swans will come back and we'll all be able to live together again. Like we used to.
Would be good, if it's at all possible. And Lenny?
I promise to take good care of her. For the rest of my life. I lost my little girl once. I'm not losing her again. I'll take up my job at the refuge. And I'll adapt it to her handicap. See?
That's nice.
Is everything okay, Dana?
Where were you during the occupation? Lenny never mentioned it.
If you want to know, I was cleared by the military court, Dana. Might well have something to do with the fact that I'm the father of a heroine. But all the same, I was cleared of any wrongdoing, you see.
Oh, I see. I see very well, Herr Gustav. You have a good day now. Hezawa?
Oh, Fräulein Dana.
What are you doing here?
Well, unlike my former colleagues of the Origin expedition, I refused to be hired by the Allies. So, by the same chalk, I turned down immunity.
Why would you do that?
Well, all I've ever wanted to do in life is to carry out my anthropological research. But if there's one thing I learned in Baltaya, it's that it can't be done by serving the designs of this or that superpower. Not even momentarily. I've had enough of prostituting science. So, I've given myself up to be judged for accepting to be financed by the Brown Shadow.
I see.
I'm sorry about Leon, Fräulein Dana. I know you were close. He, used to talk about you all the time. I'm sorry. I was rather harsh toward him last time we met. He was a good man. I miss him. His integrity.
I miss him too. Hezawa?
Yes, Fräulein Dana?
Thank you for passing Leon's letter on to me about what happened in Baltaya like you promised you would, despite your own grief. It's proof that you're a man of honor. I wish you well now.
That's it. I'm definitely done with everybody here. I should go and talk to Lenny in the infirmary now.
Hello, Lenny. I have to leave, Lenny. Every new day in Wagen is like another agony for me since Leon died. I can't face being here anymore. Not now that the town is freed. So, I've decided to leave for America. I'm going to try to start life over. I don't know if I'll do any better in the United States, but I'll have more of a chance of getting by there than here. I'm not abandoning you, Lenny. Ludwig's staying to help you find Leon's body in the mountain. And I'll write to you, often. I won't forget you. I'm so sorry.
So Dana, she never knew what you did?
Indeed.
So did she write to you like she promised? From the United States?
Yes, she did. For the next 40 years.
She's still alive then?
Can't say for sure. but there's a good chance.
Can you explain?
No, I've had enough of explaining. Explaining to myself. All I want now is to find some peace, far away from guilt and loneliness. I'm going to rest now.
It's not too late to forgive yourself.
Wouldn't know how, even if I wanted to.
You won't know until you try.
Thank you, Fräulein. You'll find the last letter I received from Dana in my automaton. It will give you the answers you're looking for.
Thank you.
Vale, coge la carta de Dana del autómata.
I'll need a special key to open up this automaton. Let's search somewhere else.
Vale. Hace falta como una llave. Vamos a ver.
Weapons. Must have been here since the war, I guess. Detonating wire, just like in the old movies.
Vale, bueno, aquí se ve que no hay nada. Pues no sé ahora mismo.
Demoiselle Lenny is resting upstairs.
Bueno, esto yo creo que ya lo he visto. A ver aquí el cachorro este que tiene.
They must have carried Demoiselle Lenny to her room after she collapsed. They must have carried Demoiselle Lenny to her room after she collapsed.
Anda, mira.
Looks like I can change its shape.
Entonces aquí. Sí. Ya estamos de vuelta.
Oh, it won't fit. I must display the key properly.
Dos abiertos. Bueno, esto tiene rombos y todo eso. A ver. sea, 2 rombos. Vale. Vale, 2 rombos. Vale, pues ya está. Ah, bueno, claro, no se puede. Un rombo y un... O sea, un rombo y aquí una esfera.
No, it's not the proper setting of the key.
Ahí está.
Oh, it won't fit.
Cobrón, tío.
I must display the key properly.
Del otro lado, ¿no? Ahí.
Impossible.
¿Esto qué es?
You should be able to control this body now, Oscar. Let's work together to unlock it and find that letter from Dana.
Ah, a new body. Again. Oh, how basic.
Impossible. It's blocking it.
Vale, a ver otra vez. Ahí, a ver. Ahora sí puedo subir esto. Vale. Qué invento, macho. Vale, no puedo pasar, a ver. No, bueno, era el otro, bueno. Ahí, a ver. Vale, bueno, ahora hay que darle la vuelta a esto.
That's it. I should be able to remove...
Vale, ahora hay que ir al otro lado.
No, I don't think so.
Vale, ya puedo precoger eso.
I think I can turn the crank now.
Vale, ahora todo cerrado.
Oh, it won't fit. I must display the key properly. The letter. Spring 1983. Dana sent this letter 20 years ago to Lenny. Dana Goengrich, Manhattan. Her name changed. May 21st, 1983. My dear Lenny, sorry if I haven't written in a long time. Things haven't been easy for me of late.
My husband, William Goengrich, passed away last summer. He was such a remarkable partner and a tremendous support. But as you know, Lenny, there used to be another world for me. The world before. Our world, Lenny. The world of Leon. I've honored my current contracts. But now I feel I need a change.
Bueno, estamos aquí con Dana. Observa tu segunda vida. Bueno, aquí está ella en el piano. Ha nacido una estrella y su nombre es Dana Goengrich. ¿Ha estado recientemente en el café concierto? Si la respuesta es afirmativa, te habrás enamorado de la música virtuosa de una estrella emergente. Se llama Dana y lo único que sabemos de ella es que vino a los Estados Unidos desde su ciudad natal, en el centro de Europa, después de la guerra. Si te pasas por el café concierto esta noche, te llevarás una gran sorpresa. Esta musicóloga estará encantada de ser la primera en descubrirte a una auténtica genio antes de que se la lleven a tocar por los mejores escenarios del mundo. Muy bien. Querida Dana, mis pensamientos están contigo en estos momentos tan difíciles. Sabes que siempre estaré aquí para las buenas y para las malas. Entiendo tu repentino deseo de dejarlo todo, desde el fallecimiento de William. De verdad que sí. Pero me gustaría pedirte que te tomaras un tiempo para poder pensarlo bien antes de tirar la toalla. Es cierto que te encuentras en el mejor momento de tu fabulosa carrera, pero sinceramente creo aún queda un capítulo nuevo y maravilloso por escribir en el libro de tu vida. Tienes tanto tirón ahora mismo que sería una lástima decepcionar a todos esos fans que te adoran, que son muchos. Espero que aceptes esta nueva oferta que por supuesto hemos aumentado con gusto. Es de recibo que el artista que convirtió mi discográfica en lo que es reciba mi agradecimiento más sincero desde el corazón, pero también desde el bolsillo. Te he dejado el original de tu última grabación para lo que escuches antes de enviarlo, para que lo escuches antes de enviarlo a la prensa. Esta es Dana en su mejor versión y cuando la hayas escuchado, espero que te des cuenta de que no podemos privar a tu público de semejante talento. Un abrazo, Raymond Pratt, representante artístico. Muy bien. Vale, eso ya lo hemos visto. William y Dana. O sea, este es su marido que ha fallecido y esta es Dana de joven.
It was a nurse who worked at the maternity ward at Baden Sanatorium before the war, when I spent some time there. She had stumbled upon a letter written by her superior. It was a strange confession written by the chief doctor who was present when I went into labor. She claimed that the child I gave birth to on April 5th, 1938 was alive, that they had seized the opportunity of me falling into a coma to give my daughter Anna to a couple of friends of my parents, the Zimmers. Anna is alive, Lenny. You can imagine, my dear Lenny, that I spent the following weeks searching for my daughter high and low. It wasn't that difficult, even though my daughter's names had been changed. For a while, I just stood there, watching a woman who seemed to be the center of attention. She looked so confident, joyful, and full of life. She was surrounded by charming friends and a couple of old folks who must have been the Zimmers, her adoptive parents. As I was watching my daughter, it appeared clear to me. I was an intruder in the life of Sarah Walker Zimmer.
Mom?
This young woman didn't look like me and inspired nothing in me either. No emotion, no desire to run to her and take her in my arms. Absolutely nothing. It felt meaningless. I just did what I thought best in such cases. I took a trip into her assumed past, just to make sure there were no regrets.
Bueno, nuestro objetivo principal es renunciar al pasado y contempla lo que podría haber sido.
ghost, Dana. That's all you are. Stop haunting these people and leave. I was just about to leave when I heard piano music coming from upstairs. It stopped me in my tracks. Six little notes, pure, crystalline, that crushed my heart with an incredible violence. I climbed the stairs like an automaton, guided by the music of the hymn of Wagen. The music I was so proud to play on the main square of Wagen. I never played it again after that. In a child's bedroom, I saw a little girl learning to play the piano. She was very studious and didn't seem at all surprised to see me there. She must have thought I was just another guest who had lost their way to the bathroom. We hardly spoke. I just showed her how to play. Hands must glide over the keyboard like swans over water. That's what our teachers at Wagen Academy used to say. I hurried out of the house without looking back, and a few days later, I left the United States for the only destination that had any meaning to me. Farewell, my dear Lenny.
Dana.
Well,
will never understand human emotions. I thought you would be happy to have the proof at last that Dana Rose is your ancestor.
I'd totally forgotten that strange old lady who helped me play my piece on Mom's birthday. She was my grandma.
So, what are we going to do now?
I don't know, Oscar. I really don't know. I know I should feel happy to come to the end of this adventure. I found freedom. I kept my promise to Katyusha. And discovered a fascinating part of my mother's past, kept secret until now. But it makes no difference to the guilt I feel over my mom's passing, or the void I feel since her death. Maybe if I had met Dana in person, but that's impossible now. The last trace of Dana I have is this letter, and it's over 20 years old. And besides, Dana implies she left for an unknown destination, like a hiding place, to wait for the end of a life that no longer held any meaning for her. She could be anywhere. That's if she's still alive at all. It would be like looking for a needle in a haystack. So, I don't know, Oscar. I really don't know anymore. There's only one thing left to do, Oscar. What everyone has been expecting me to do since I jumped on the train with Hans. Just be reasonable and return to New York. There's an end to everything, Oscar. Isn't there? My carriage number. I should find a phone to call Olivia before I take the shuttle. Given all the trouble waiting for me in New York, I'm gonna need all the help I can get. I'm not sure if this is the right carriage. I better check the number on the ticket.
Hello?
Olivia? It's me.
What do you want, Kate? Didn't we say everything last time?
You were right, Olivia. I've been chasing moonbeams ever since my mom died. But I found my grandmother.
Your grandmother? But Kate, she died years ago in New York.
No, I mean my real grandmother. Never mind. It's a long story. I'll explain everything when I get back.
Oh, you mean...
Yes, I'm flying back to New York.
That's wonderful, Kate. I better tell Mr. Canton. He's still on your case, you know. The police will probably be waiting for you at the airport, but don't worry. Dan has connections. I'm sure he'll be able to help. Maybe he can persuade Marston and Lorman to drop the charges.
Okay, thanks. That would be a relief. I gotta go. The airport shuttle's about to leave.
Yes, go ahead. We'll meet you at JFK. I'm proud of you, Kate. You've made the right decision.
Olivia?
Yes?
Listen, I'm truly sorry for everything that's happened since I left New York. It's just that I just had to get away. I needed a change of life, to be free. It was like a calling. And now that I've been following that calling for the past few years, I realize that I'm not the person I thought I was back in New York. I am that strange person who jumps from train to train, a traveler without a destination, just like that old shaman once called me.
What are you talking about? Which shaman?
It doesn't matter now. I guess what really counts is that I have no regrets about being my true self over these past years.
But do you really?
I know, Olivia. I know I've hurt people while going through this journey. My mom, Dan, you. I know that. And I'm so sorry, Olivia, for all the hurt I've caused you personally.
Thank you, Kate. It does me good to hear it. And, well, you know what? I'm starting to like this new Kate.
Listen, I'd better go now, Olivia. I'll call you if I can from the airport once I've got a flight.
Yes, you'd better get going. You take care, Kate.
Okay, you too. Bye now. Talk later. My shuttle to the airport is at the platform. No point wandering around the station and getting... That's my shuttle. Once it's taken me to the airport, I'll just use the ticket for New York that Olivia sent me, and that'll be the end of my voyage. The deportation trains left Vaughan from this station during the Second World War. How many lives did those brown shadow barbarians destroy? Is there any justice for those who were massacred?
Bueno, hay que sellar el billete, ¿no? Creo que es aquí, presionar.
This ticket will take me to the International Airport of Vaughan and my carriage number.
A ver, pone 30 del 11, ¿no?
Looks like there's something wrong with the puncher. I'll need some ink before I can stamp it. I'll need some ink before I can stamp it.
Que hace falta tinta, tío.
A ticket validator. My carriage number. This ticket will take me to the international airport of Vaughan, and from there, back to New York.
Ah, ahí se coge la tinta.
My carriage number.
Número 3, el landing.
This ticket will take me to the international airport of Vaughan, and from there, back to New York.
Creo que es aquí.
Not sure if this is the right carriage. I better check the number on the ticket. This is the right carriage, but the door's still shut.
Please present your ticket.
Olivia sent me a plane ticket for New York. What if... No, forget it.
Billete de avión.
So, is this really the end of the journey?
Yeah.
That's all they ever talked about. How they were going to live over there after the war, along with Ludwig and his tribe.
I left the United States for the only destination that had any meaning for me. Farewell, my dear Lenny.
The only destination that had any meaning.
Kate Walker? Is everything all...
I know where she is, Oscar. I know where Dana went after she left America.
The train for the airport is about to depart. All passengers,
Come on, Oscar, we gotta go.
take your seat. Anyone not going to the airport is kindly asked to leave the train immediately.
Mr. Ludwig, what are you doing here?
Going home.
What about Demoiselle Lenny?
Lenny's gone. In her sleep. Too much guilt. Too much sorrow.
Oh.
I took her in the mountain with Leon. They're together. What about you, Kate Walker?
I'm going back home too. In a way.
Si te gusta este vídeo no olvides suscribirte y dale un like si te ha gustado, no te cuesta nada y me ayuda un montón.